If you haven't already, it's really time to start thinking about your 2026 lineup. You might think this is really early or really late, but I think this is the perfect time. It gives you enough time to pick up any planners or journals that you want that you don't already own, but it also is close enough to the new year that it's not going to feel like an absolute age until you get to start using your new lineup. In the rest of this video, I am going to be chatting about what the process I went through to try and decide on my lineup and how I got to the list that I've got to, because trust me, it's a bit of a long one. But before I get too far into that, I'm just going to go over what the things I'm doing for this video, the things I'm using in this plan with me. So I am using the kit Tea by the Sea from Plannerface. I do PR for Plannerface, so you can use Tilly to save 10% when you shop there. Who doesn't love a nice little bit of money off? I'm planning for the week of the 28th of July because, yes, I am very behind because this is actually the last week I have filmed at the moment, so I do have a good chunk of catching up to be done, but I'll get there when I get there. Having a little one is not the easiest at times for filming and recording voices over, particularly this is about the 10th time I've started this voiceover. I absolutely love this kit, and the art is by Lavi Loves Art. And this was when she was trialling a bit of a different style for her fashion people. I personally prefer her normal style, but I do think this is really cute and cartoony as well. The foil bundle I'm using is from Scribble Prints Co. and is in mixed metal of a pink and a sparkly coral. And it is in, I want to say, the pixie dust format. I'm also using from my shop Tartan Underlays in gold, I think. This is very similar to one of my other golds, but I don't offer this one in the shop because it doesn't foil very well, so I tend to use it just because I need to use up the foil I have to get there, and I do generally use Oops foil from my own shops. And I think that's kind of everything I have to say about the kit. A few things happened this week. It was a very sociable week. On Monday I had an appointment with my care coordinator. On Tuesday I had a video call with my best friend. We went to a baby class, and also I had the book club call from the Tortured Planners department. On Wednesday I had a committee Zoom call for the Doctor's Mess, which I am the treasurer of. Thursday we had Baby Explorers. I had an appointment with the nursery nurse and also had a video call with one of our oldest friends. Friday was a bit of a more calm day. We just had Bayla's vaccines and I pretty much spent the day focused on her after her vaccines. Saturday, my mother-in-law and brother-in-law came over to see us, and on Sunday we went to see my grandpa. So as you can see, it was a lot of socialising. But anyway, so that's kind of my little summary of the week, and now I'm going to get into talking about my planner lineup and how I came up with it. The first thing I did is I made a list of all of the planners that I've used this year, whether that was I've only used for a very short period or things that I intended to use and never did. And then I went through each of them and thought about what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, whether that was still a need I had, whether I used it or not, and things like that. So we'll start with the easiest one, which is my memory planner, which is the planner I'm currently planning in. And I love the format of this planner. I use a one column with dot grid from my shop, Tilly Journals, which is linked down below, in the A5 wide insert format. I really like the actual pages. What I haven't enjoyed this year is actually being in a rings planner. I moved away from a coil band because even with my coils, which are bigger than the average coil for a ring bound planner, with the move of layering underlays, it was just getting so chunky by the end of the year, it was a bit unmanageable. So I thought about how I might be able to deal with those problems because I knew I wanted to go back to a standard coil and come out of rings, because the other thing is I set up my rings at the beginning of the year with the intention to change them seasonally, change the decoration seasonally, and I never do it. And then I get bored of the decoration by the end of the year. So what I wanted to do was move to a coil, but I wanted to move to a coil in a way that it wasn't going to get too bulky. So I decided to utilise something I've never utilised for my own shop, which is the ability to split your planner over 2 coils. So I'm going to have 2 6-month planners next year rather than 1 12-month planner. I've currently put them onto a small coil from my shop, which is a little bit smaller than a standard Erin Condren coil, but is still quite a big coil. But I also have the ability to switch that to a larger coil if it is getting a bit bulky. It also means that I can change out my planner cover without much effort at all. I generally don't, but I can change my planner cover seasonally if I want to. So if I'm starting to get bored of the planner cover, easy. And I'll have a second different planner cover halfway through the year. Easy, simple. So that is how I'm going to be changing my memory planner. I then thought about my off-camera memory planner, and I've decided I do not need this next year. I initially had it to be somewhere to be able to plan off-camera, just have some fun in my planner. But honestly, I've picked up some journals this year, and that is filling the itch to plan off-camera. And to be honest with you, I'm even more behind in that planner than I am in this one. Part of me says I should stop at the end of June in that planner and just have it as 6 months, but I've pulled out kits and I've pulled the stickers right up until last week, as in the last week in real time. And in fact, I pulled stickers for yesterday. So I've pulled stickers up to the 27th of October in that planner. So I might as well use those, even if it takes me till halfway through next year to get there. So I've just decided I don't need that camera, that my off-camera planner. Next up, I looked at my reading journal. So I am currently using a reading journal that I got in the Illumicrate subscription box. What I like about this is that it's all set up for me. It's nice and ready and easy. What I don't like is there's lots of things in there I just don't care about, and there's no space to be fun and creative in it particularly. The best I can do is I can do some colouring. It has things that I don't want in it, and again, it's structured for the whole year in a certain structure, and I want my reading journal to be a bit more flexible. I really like that it's a square journal, I like that it's a bound journal, but to be honest, I haven't kept up with it. And that other reason for that is because I've actually had my reading stuff over 2 planners. Most of it, well, part of it is in that reading planner, and the other part of it, which has been any challenges and things I've done, is in my everyday bullet journal / journal. And I stopped checking in with the other journal just because I didn't love how it was decorated. I didn't love the format. It just wasn't filling me with joy. So I just stopped using it. And then, honestly, as a bit of a result of that, I've been struggling a bit more with my reading. I'm in a bit of a slump at the moment, I'm going to be honest. So what I've decided is that I need something a bit more flexible, that I can decorate and I can make it how I want it, that I'm not stuck in what other people have set up and what they think they need. Instead, I want what I want and I need. And so, although it's probably going to be a bit more work at the beginning of the month and things, I've decided to move to a square journal for my reading journal so that I can play with it and do whatever I want with it, and that I can track just the things I want to track, and that I can put in the reading challenges I want to put in, etc., etc. Will I stick with it? Who knows? But that, at the moment, is the thing that seems to deal with most of my problems with it and the things I like about it. Next, I looked at my 5-year journal, which is currently in a Stalogy that I set myself. I decorated it with washi tape and wrote in it all of the questions. I'm enjoying this. It's absolutely fine. I wish it wasn't in a Stalogy, and I wish I could use my 5-year journal from my shop. My aversion to this is just that it's... how do I phrase this? I don't love some of the washi tape and the decoration I've done. It gets a bit busy. It's hard to write in sometimes because it's not even. And I wish I could move into my coil, but I've got a year and a half, nearly 2 years in there. So I am not going to change it for the next 3 years. I'm not going to copy those answers into a different planner because it would take too long. So although I'm not that happy with it at the moment, it's staying. So I'm just keeping that and keeping it exactly the same. I also have a 5-year journal for my daughter, Bayla Ray. This one is not questions. This is just a some lines a day planner from Leuchtturm. I really like that I can use fountain pens with it. The ghosting on it would annoy me in a lot of other planners, but actually it works really well for this. I'm going to keep that up. I'm loving having something that she's going to have probably for the rest of her life, where she can look back on the first 5 years of her life. I think that's really exciting. Obviously, I'm only 6 months into the 5 years, but I really like that. So, yeah, and it's working. It works with my planner routine. It's just happy. So, again, it's going to be staying as the Leuchtturm. Next up, I have my B6 coil bound, which is a dot grid notebook from my shop, which is my thoughts and feelings journal. It's essentially something I decorate with journaling kits and use it to basically every day I do a page in it and try and write about how I felt or what I was doing. And it's about my thoughts and feelings. It's whatever I need to get out of my brain at that point. And whilst this has been good for my mental health, and I started this while I was in hospital / just after I came out of hospital, as a way to help me try and process my emotions. But to be honest, it's making my planning routine in an evening longer than I want it to be. It often takes me like half an hour to write in there. And it's just because I don't always have a lot to say. And I think what I need is I need to have somewhere where that I'm happy to write my thoughts and feelings, but I'm not sure handwriting it is the way forward. So I'm going to also drop this planner. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, if I have feelings I need to process, I'm going to do it via voice to typed, because I think best out loud. My brain works in words. It doesn't work in pictures like a lot of people's. My brain works in words. And so I find it quite helpful to talk things out rather than to write them down. But I want to talk it out to myself. So I think what I'm going to start doing is on days where I need to get thoughts and feelings out of my brain, I'm going to keep those digitally. I won't do it every day though. That is going to be the big difference. It also means I don't need journaling kits for that planner. I will still use some journaling kits in other planners that we're going to get onto, but that has actually impacted my decision on my Plannerface subscription. I was initially subscribed to just the standard vertical kit from Plannerface, and then I added the journaling kit when that came out, and then I added the creative kit when that a couple of months after that came out. I have since dropped the journaling kit because I don't think that format works for how I'm going to be using planners next year. So I'm going to use them until the end of this year, and then I will be moving to just having, well, I've already moved to just getting the creative kit and the standard vertical kit. The next one I have to talk about is my everyday bullet journal disc bound thing. What I love about this is I love using, I say bullet journal, it's not really a bullet journal anymore. It kind of, the idea comes from a bullet journal initially, but it's really just an everyday journal. It's where I keep my task lists, my tracking, everything like that. And what I love about this is how flexible it is. I love doing the setups in it. I find it really easy to get everything there to make it what I need in the moment. And that's something I couldn't get in a pre-designed planner. What I've not loved about it this year is that I'm in a disc bound and it falls apart all the time. I don't know whether it's, I don't know why it is. I use 120 GSM paper in there. Yeah, it's not the 160 that lots of people like, but I just find the pages come off the discs really easily. Maybe it's the punch I've used, I don't know. And it just drives me insane. Like, if I have more than a couple of months on the rings I have, discs I have, it just comes off. And sometimes it comes off anyway. So it's harder to keep open on my desk than I thought it would be. The other thing I've loved about having it in a disc bound is that I can keep my yearly stuff at the front of the planner, and it's got my reading stuff, and that can all just stay at the front, and then my months can just switch out. So I am going to miss that aspect, but I have decided that I'm going to move into a bound planner. Of course, they have 2 bookmarks, so that should hopefully help like keep things together. I don't think I'm an index human, so I don't think I'm going to use an index. How I'm going to deal with not being able to move stuff add stuff, extra stuff in the front, I'm not quite sure yet. But my thought process is I'm going to do my yearly stuff at the beginning of my first one, and if I move into a second or third bound journal by the end of the year, which I highly suspect I will, I'm just going to keep that first one around for my yearly trackers. That is my current thought process. It's not perfect, but I don't have a perfect system. I don't think rings are better. I don't think discount. The thing I wanted the discount to work for is because I can keep it only half a page on show rather than having to have, because I'm currently using a B6. I also find the B6 a bit small, so I'm going to move to an A5. Which means essentially having an A4 sheet of paper on my desk or wherever my journal is at a time, which I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about. That is my worry with it, but we'll see. Next up, we have some journals that I've added since the beginning of the year, which is my junk and travel journal. I love both of these, and they're giving me the creative outlet that I wanted from my off-camera planner in a completely different way. And I don't film any of that. I filmed one junk journal spread. What isn't working about these is that I'm very behind in both. Well, no, I'm nearly caught up in my travel journal, but I'm very behind in my junk journal, and I have quite a lot of things I want to put in there. And I actually think by the time I put all of that in, my current junk journal is going to be full. My travel journal, I have no problem with. I am using a 9x9 Archer and Olive square, which I love. I think it's a great size. My only problem with it is that a lot of papers are A4 and it's actually bigger. It's wider and taller than A4 paper, like the one way, obviously. It's wider and taller than A5. So it's quite hard to decorate the whole page, but I make it work, and I'm really loving the creativity of that. I've obviously only got one holiday on it because we've only been on one holiday this year, but we're hoping to go away in the new year, so that will get added to that. So I have no problems with that. My problem with my junk journal is just how behind I am. And I don't know whether I'm going to keep a junk journal after I fill this one. And the reason for that is I have a best friend bestie journal with Sophie from Rhymer Made, and that's kind of filled the hole that I want in my junk journal to fill. And I think a lot of my junk journaling is going to just move into there after I have finished this junk journal. And that will help me keep on top and being on time with passing it on the bestie journal, because we want in the new year to pass it on every month. The moment I've had it for far too long, we basically have two journals, or we just switch who has each one, and then at the end we'll both have one to keep, which is really cool. So I think my junk journal is going to go at the end of this year. At the end when it's filled. But my travel journal is going to stay, and that will just be updated when I go on holidays. I've already spoken about my bestie journal. That is staying. The main thing I need to do is to be better at keeping up with it. But I'm hoping through the things I've already talked about that will be easier. And my last planner I had this year, which is staying but being changed, is my goal planner. And I'm using one of my own goal planners this year, but I found that a lot of my goal planner is that whole year of goals is just not quite working for me, and the format of it, although it works, is not working quite how I want it to. So in the last 2 months of this year, I am reading a few goal books. I'm doing a goal course. I'm doing Josh Crin's goal course. I've got a 12-week year, and I'm trying to find another couple of goal setting books to make my process for 2026 goal setting a bit different. And then I'm going to update my goal planner once I've done that. So for this year, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my goals in just a notebook using the structures and the things that I learned from the classes and books I'm going to read for the rest of the year. And that should allow me to be able to then update the goal planner for 2027 to a format that is a better for me and a better for other people. And that is my planner lineup, I think. I will be filming a proper video of this where I don't talk about my thought process. I just go over with the planners what they'll be used for. That will be coming out later this month. But yeah, I hope that's helped and has given you a little bit of structure of how you could think about your planner lineup. Let me know what you think of using in the comments down below. There are my leftovers. Thanks for watching. Comment, like down below, all that kind of jazz. Leave me a notebook emoji in the comments if you've got this far. Thanks for watching. Bye!